Okay, so thank you everyone for the shares. What I'm going to be moving on to is to share the content for this week. So making sure, obviously, that you are aware of what is ahead for the next 7 days. So I'm going to share my screen, and obviously we're going to go through the resources that I prepared for yourselves in your personal journey as well as into the certification. So when we go into the love chakra, and obviously we're stepping into a beautiful portal, which is my favorite, as you know, to be in your heart. And so this is what we are going to be journeying with. So we've got the secret for video and the resources that you find obviously in the Align portal or on the app. So you've got, same as all the weeks, you've got a video. There's a lot of different practices. Again, make sure that you just do the things that are resonating with you, the things that are making you feel, yeah, this is exciting, this is interesting, or this is something that I need to work on. I also have uploaded a 7 Secrets Method Merlin ecosystem handout, which is in the sandbox. So when you go in there, other than the videos, and obviously there's still a couple that I need to record, but you will find that now there's also a resources document. So there is a 7 Secrets Method and Merlin ecosystem document that you can read. There is another handout for next week, which is the client charter that you will get to have a look at. So just know that there's more resources there in your sandbox. So this week as well, we've got on the platform training, we got the Merlin Clinic overview. So you got a video that explains to you the clinic and everything that is available in managing cases. So from the assessment to the analysis of the information, so the synthesizing, if you want, of the information that is provided by clients, how we then create plans, and from the plans, how we then plan sessions and obviously work month by month with our clients, and obviously also manage their progress, so getting the information that we need to make sure that people are actually moving forward rather than staying stuck. So in the platform training, as I said, you got a video there about the clinic. You also have a video about your registration as a practitioner. So I would really like to encourage you to start your journey to register, because it takes some time as well to make sure that you've got all the relative information to be able to go through the due diligence. Due diligence essentially is the process of me validating the who you are, what you say is true. So if you're qualified in Reiki, you need to send a certificate to say that you've got a Reiki qualification. If you say that you got business insurance, you need to send your business insurance certificate. So essentially, this is about making sure that nobody goes out to practice things that are not qualified or insured for. So really important from a safety point of view, from an ethical point of view, so we're basically working within good standards of practice. So in the video, we'll explain how to register. So you make sure to do that. You can express an interest to register, but everyone that is on the certification program should have had an email. If you have not had an email inviting you to register as a practitioner, let me know. If I know, I can do something about it. If you have not had it and don't tell me anything, there's nothing that I can do about it. So make sure that you reach out to me. And just so that you know, despite the email, the process of going through the registration so that we are clear, let me just give you this insight, is by going into Merlin Wellbeing. So from your portals buttons, you go to Merlin Wellbeing, which is the clinic. And once the clinic has uploaded, now I don't get this because I'm logged in as admin, but here at the top of the clinic, you will have like an onboarding to-do list. So there's different things that the system will be asking you to do, like filling in your profile, uploading your certificates, uploading your insurance, a lovely picture if you want, a little description of yourself. So it will take you through that process. But where it says complete your profile, so pay attention to this if nothing else. When you need to fill in your profile in the clinic, you'll find that beside the initial onboarding flow information, it will ask you to fill in your profile, and you need to look here where it says my profile. So in the clinic, all of these tabs at the moment are not going to work for you because you don't have any clients, but the one that says my profile is the one that you're going to work with. So when you click on that, I don't know whether it will load for me in admin. Yes, it does. So basically the process of filling in your profile is I can put a picture, so I can upload a file for that, a little biography, years of practice. I can list the different therapies that I am qualified for, but whatever you tick here, it will put it here at the top, and it will ask you the date on which you're qualified and to upload your certificate. So every single therapy that you select from there, if you're qualified in there, you will need to upload your certificate. There is a different way of uploading your certificate. So if you look, you've got other relevant qualifications, and you also got therapeutic certificates. So the difference between these is that I can have a marketing degree, for example, that might be relevant for me to show the world, because in my business, so right now in supporting you, I'm trying to also support everyone with how we are marketing ourselves in the world. So I could upload here my certificate to say that I got a marketing qualification. But down here, you also have the therapeutic certificates. In this box, you can literally go to your folder with all your certificates, highlight them all, and bulk import them. So you can put them all in here, and this beautiful system will actually analyze every single image or PDF documents that you uploaded. It will extrapolate who was the training provider, what was the qualification, what was the date that you got it. You got a button to make sure that you're approving, to say that what AI has analyzed is all correct, and providing that you've done that, then all your certificates will have been uploaded. You need to fill in your insurance certificate as well. You can put whether you're a member of any body membership like CMA, FHC, PHM, and whatever. You can put your niche, your calendar link or Calendly link, or any other link to calendars that you might have, 2 references that will be checked. And once you've completed it all, your flow chart at the top will say all of this is complete. You submit your profile for due diligence, which basically means that that information comes to Fed for me to check before your profile is uploaded and made public. So just you see, I want to give you just a short view of this. So once you are approved, where are we? Okay, so once your profile has been approved, you can have a look at the preview. So where I just showed you where you upload your certificates, there's a preview button at the end. But here in admin view, as you can see, I've got myself, Anne-Marie, Louise, and Hayden started the process of submitting information, and as you can see, these are in recruitment, so this is not actually showing as live, so nobody can see these profiles until I've approved them. But if I click on Marie, that doesn't work because she hasn't approved it yet. Let me go back. Let me see if I can click on mine instead. There we go. So once is approved, you'll see all the information that has been uploaded, all the qualifications. The qualifications actually will show there as a preview. There's something there that I think that goes live once things have been approved, but actually people can sift through the certificates that have been produced, and they get organized in chronological order. The same for other qualifications and training. And then at the bottom it will say whether you are a member of any other professional organization. So this is what is going to be live on the website after you have been approved. There is a button at the bottom as well, start your assessment, if you would like to work with FED. So whatever profile, when people have selected a practitioner that they want to work with, they can start their assessment, and obviously they can ask to work with a specific individual. So start working on your application process, on your profile. That is the invitation for this week. And like I said, there's quite a bit of information to go through. So over this week and next week, make sure that you do that, because obviously then it will be for me to have the time as well to go through all of that information to make sure that your profiles are going live. So that is the training for the portal for this week. So we are here, 2 seconds. Okay, so platform training, so practitioner registration for due diligence. So you should all have already access to the clinic. So it should be on your drop-down menu as Merlin Wellbeing. So that is how you access it. And for this week, I've also given 2 tools that you have access to for your personal embodiment. One is the 5-year vision, which I already mentioned last week for you to start working on. I sent everyone that is on the certification a task, so you should have had it in the Merlin app. It should come up as a task for you to fill in your 5-year vision. But if you go into the second tab of the app, which is the healing one, you will find personal development, and inside there you've got these 2 programs that I've got listed here. One is your 5-year vision that you can start working on, and it's free for you to go through. And the other one is to align to your true relationship vision. So it's another tool from NLP that is really, really beautiful about the type of relationships that work for us. So those tools are free for you to do and to obviously experience, because obviously there are some of the things that you can recommend to people that you'll be supporting as well, but they're there for your own growth. And of course, as usual, if you could go and share your growth or any insights into the community as well as in Facebook. So those are the tasks for this week. Certainly a beautiful topic. The heart chakra, as I said, is one of my favorite topics when it comes to relationships, to self-love, to our fit in the world. Stepping into the heart is about stepping into our purpose as well, to do what you love with the people that you love in the places that you love. So certainly bring a lot of insight into that dynamic that can be very transforming and life-changing for many people. So tune in and you'll get the wisdom and the beauty and the energy that you need. Okay, so that is the wisdom for this week. Obviously, go and practice, reach out. If you need support, make sure to share in the community, share your wisdom, because we all learn from each other, sometimes from the positives inside and sometimes from the negatives too. So make sure to do that. And if anyone needs one-to-one support, then obviously reach out to me individually as well. Anything else left, I will stay on as well the call if anyone needs any support, but I will close the recording here. I'll look forward to seeing you all next week, and have a beautiful week ahead. See ya. Okay, beautiful beings, amazing. So welcome to our 4th secret and our call to catch up on how things are going, and then I shall get you to see. I'll reveal all the beautiful content for this week as well. But let's go round and ask how you're all getting on this week. So, firstly, I've got Gary and Georgie on my screen. So, how you both doing?
We're going to join last next time.
See, being too keen, being too keen.
We are good, I think. Hi, Isaac. Um, we're good. We have watched your video, which I think I messaged you, Fed. I thought your video on the solar plexus, I loved it. I learned so much. It was brilliant about gut health and stuff, and I really, really enjoyed that about microbiotics and all those, and macro and the difference and all those little nuances that you hear all these words all the time, but you never really understand what they are without asking. No, we've had a good week. We've watched that. We loved the Mel Robbins, and
Five
I'll try
secret,
very hard.
5 second rule.
Yeah, I knew about that, but it was actually, I mean, she brought that in right at the end, but it was all the thing about saying, I'm fine. I'm fine. I mean, really, really good stuff. We've obviously been eating our yellow foods, and also really looking into sort of the inner fire and activating your energy and pushing yourself out there, and really embracing a sort of a can-do philosophy, which actually the one gift that my dad did give me was he named me Can Do later in my life. And I take that and run with it. So very much embracing my can-do inner fire this week. And sort of culminated yesterday morning in sort of energy activation of getting in the ice bath. Really, because this time of year it's hard. It's hard. And sort of making ourselves do that was really, really good, and got a lot out of it. And still doing lots of yoga, and but really embrace it. And also I really sort of listened to in your video, really listened to things about noticing sort of and facing your shadows, to do with victimhood and all those things. I thought it was really, so that's really made me think actually about noticing those, and how I can see how that really comes from the solar plexus. But no, it's been an interesting week. I've enjoyed it this week. It's been an interesting one actually. But yeah, so that's kind of me-ish.
Amazing, amazing, and I think that is really powerful, because obviously I know your journey as well from conversations that we had previously at the retreats as well, and kind of like the story is the
Mm-hmm.
story that you create around the fact, yeah, around the trauma, around
Yeah,
an illness and all of that, and you start believing all that
yeah.
that is, rather than tuning into everything else that you are and you can do.
Correct, exactly. Yeah. And I think I did tune into that. And I think no, it's been a really interesting week, and I've done a lot of thinking about sort of some difficult stuff actually this week. But I think and I really learned, as I said, I learned a lot from your video this week, Fed. I thought it was absolutely brilliant. And yes, it was great about the nutrition, but just little nuggets of really interesting stuff that really sort of particularly helped me with those pesky shadows that keep biting us on the bum.
Mm, absolutely.
Um,
So, what I was gonna ask you as well, and this is maybe for everyone as well, but are you starting to see the map, as in
yes, I
as you
really am. It
yeah.
actually makes sense. For the first time ever, I can really see the map. And I can see if you had a major breakdown or a wobble, you'd have to go back to week one.
Mm.
I really get that now. That's really landed with me. And I can see how each chakra is so connected. But I can see the map. I can see the roadmap. Yeah, definitely.
Beautiful, amazing, well done. Okie dokie, Gary, how you doing?
Good, thank you. I always hate it when George goes first because basically what she does, she steals all the stuff I'm going to say as well. We go, okay, what we talk about what we've learned, and then we go through this list, and so all my things were on Georgie's list and vice versa.
You
So
can
anyway,
repeat. You
I
can
could,
repeat what
yeah. So what she said,
resonates.
you
No,
know what
what?
she said? That
All of it, all of it. Don't disagree.
No, the two things. What's been very interesting for me, there's probably two key things. One is this whole idea of clearing out. As you know, we're moving house at the moment, and so we're going through this whole process of just going through all our stuff, and it's been amazing how therapeutic and how focused you can be when you know that you've got X amount of stuff here and you're moving and you can only have Y amount of stuff and what you can clear out. And so that's been very sort of therapeutic in terms of just clearing out stuff that we've carried because we've had a big enough house all of our lives, and stuff that we've not needed and stuff that we've not really, you hold on to stuff because you think, oh, maybe I'll need that one day, or maybe I should keep hold of that. But actually, when you come down to it and you start adopting this approach of, you know, clearing out junk and really focusing on what you really need and what's there to, yeah, it's been really, really useful. So I'm sure there's a good analogy in terms of getting rid of the rubbish that you're carrying around as well. But that's been really good. Um, I I really liked the Mel Robbins video, and I think what really stuck for me is this routine and this rhythm that we get into where fine is okay, okay is tolerated, um, and I'm gonna make sure if anyone asks me how I am now, I'm not gonna say fine because it's. I remember I did a mental health first aider course a few years ago, and there was this technique they used, and they always said if you ask someone how they are and they say they're okay, ask them again. It's like ask again, ask how they are, because everyone's natural response to a question about how are you, how's life, what's happening, it's always that neutral, passive, I'm okay, I'm fine, I'm what have you. But when you ask again, it means one, you really mean it, and two, you're actually digging below the okay, so what does okay mean? What does fine mean? And so I really like that and really challenging yourself to really think about and appreciate what's good in your life and what's going on in your life. So yeah, those were the things that really, that really jumped out for me. And yeah, we did put the activation energy piece into place. We said, right, although we didn't want to, we're gonna get into the ice bath, and we did, and that was deep joy.
Or not.
Or not.
But you feel amazing after, though. You really, really do.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I mean, it's an instant major dopamine high. Clears out a lot of shit.
Absolutely. And sometimes is the rewire, because in a lot of different techniques, essentially it's kind of like if you think about your day, I'm busy, I got a million things to do, I'm stressing, these are my thoughts, these are my emotions today, and whatever. Boom, cold water. It could be something else. It could be happy. It could be a meditation. It could be a lot of different things. But it's that ability to stop the pattern, yeah, and then it's like, okay, now I like, because obviously it's almost like your body goes into shock, so it stops everything, and then it's like, okay, what do I do next? Yeah, so you got that power then to make that decision. Amazing. So Gary, how are you?
I'm living the dream.
Amazing. Look at that. What a shift.
I'm living my best life, Fed.
Amazing, amazing. Good, good, amazing. Well done. Well done, you both. Okay, I'm gonna go to Hannah. I got next on my screen. Oh, rather the ceiling. Hello. Morning. You're on mute.
Hello. Hi.
Morning.
Can you hear me?
Yes, can hear you fine.
Yeah, so as we discussed last week, I have sort of started again at week one, really. Full disclosure, I had a really, really terrible week last week. The weekend, I regressed into drinking alcohol, watching Married at First Sight and basically feeling sorry for myself for about 2 solid days. And yeah, I just had to, I don't, it's a shame I ended up getting into that place. I'm a bit disappointed with myself, but at the same time, I was just in overwhelm and I just needed to kind of numb myself, and I need to learn to cope with difficult traumas in a better way. But that's what happened at the weekend. So, you know, just very human kind of response to some trauma. But yeah, I've got back to drinking a lot of water. That's really, really helped. I think some of what happened at the weekends just got very worried about money and security, and just generally worrying about my rent, and you know how I've got to this age and getting into this place in life where I don't own my own home, and then I've kind of managed to get through that in the last couple of days, and I realised when I got a grip on myself that actually I've provided for my family since I was 18. You know, I've got 3 kids. I've been a single parent, really. My husband had a brain condition, so I've always been the financial provider. So then I started to sort of add up the amount of money that I've had to kind of produce to keep, you know, 5 people alive, basically. And it's a lot, you know. And even though I don't have a house now, I did have a house, but I don't now. Um, I've produced a lot. So I realised actually I'm quite a abundant, strong person. If I just remove all of the, you know, I think it's very difficult. Like the fire horse came in and it was like it came galloping in and it just left no prisoners. It wasn't a happy little ride. It was actually really, really tough. It wasn't this beautiful glowing fire horse with like unicorn horns that I imagined coming in after the serpent year. It was tough, that first bit. But yeah, I think and of course it's affected my sales because a lot happened around the network of people that I know. But yeah, it has been good to just remember, well, I don't have any assets and I don't have any wealth, but I do have myself. And I think, you know, just drinking water, coming back to my root chakra, you know, week 1, but not really coming back. As you say, it's not really going backwards, it's starting in a different place. And I think I haven't actually done the assessments or any the second assessment, the STT, and I know why now. It's that I felt like when I started it, I was kind of doing it in a kind of victim place. So I feel now that I'll be doing it in more of a real place, because I've had to basically re go over my last 10 years and look at what's been real and what hasn't. And now I'm kind of rewriting what I believed was history and looking at from a perspective of reality. And that's very helpful. That whole process I've really had to go through in order to remember that I have myself and who I actually am, regardless of all the things and the patterns that other people bring into my life and the reactions and the relationships and everything like that. Is that, you know, I think there's quite a lesson in you know, not having assets, not having security, because you just have yourself. So I actually bought myself, it's quite funny, I bought myself a pair of welly boots with cushions in, like they're nice ones, for the first time ever. I've got wellies, but they don't have any, you know, they're really uncomfortable to walk in. And I've been walking in them for 3 years now. And just, I suddenly thought this week, no, I'm just going to buy myself a decent pair of footwear. And I just went out for a walk in them this morning. And I thought, this is really stupid. You haven't actually invested in your feet for this long. So that's that, you know, so I am making progress.
Amazing. So, Hannah, so you know, my wellies for when I used to go on my land has been sold now. But my wellies, I've got memory foam inside and fur. You know, so you know, just because you want to have, you know, waterproofs, they don't have to be uncomfortable. You know, so yeah.
No, that's a good idea, because actually I've got a bit of room in them. I could add a bit of memory foam to them as well. But yeah, I mean, it's just amazing. I can actually bend my ankles now and everything. It's just like
Amazing, amazing. Do you know, one thing that I wanted to say, and this is for everyone and not just Hannah, is, you know, understanding the map that we're talking about in the root chakra, you know, this concept of I'm going back to week one, I'm going back to, you know, the root chakra. You're not going back. Yeah, you need to start framing it and looking at it as that wheel that you get when you're doing the assessment, because you know it's kind of, it's about us becoming aware of what we need, as
Yeah.
opposed to like, oh, I need to go back to the start and restart the journey. It's like, no, at the moment I need to work on my route.
Yeah,
At
I
the
think
moment
that's,
I'm gonna go working on my heart chakra, you know. So it's
yeah.
kind of like, is understanding in the moment which one it is that you need to go and work with, because
Yeah,
it's not just,
okay, a wheel. I'll think of it as a wheel. Yeah,
yeah,
because
because I
I
don't.
think you do sort of at first when you start this course, it is like a linear thing. You start week one, week two, and you do sort of feel like you've gone backwards. But I think, yeah, like you say, if I think of it like a wheel, because I'm probably going to go round and round this wheel for a little bit. Yeah, doing it in different places.
Yeah, and that's beautiful. That's exactly it. That's about awareness, and is about, you know, doing what is needed at that moment in time, you know, because sometimes, you know, obviously, as far as the course is concerned, yes, there is a linear approach, because you need to make sure that you're hitting the knowledge of everything that is involved. But on the other side is really understanding that model that is behind when you go on for yourself, but also to mentor other people, because otherwise we create that notion that, oh, I need to go back to the start, I need to start again, I'm not
Mm.
keeping up like everyone else, I'm not as good as everyone else. We create a narrative around it, which is unhelpful.
Okay.
So just really think, I'm doing what is important for me today. You know, and tomorrow it might be that you jump back to, you know, whatever other secret or dynamic, you know, that is important for you. Also, um, going back as well a little bit to what Georgie was talking about in terms of your own power, and you described it there, Hannah, about I provided for 5 people for so long.
Mm.
So when you go into that story of, you know, oh, I'm not good enough because I don't have a home, you know, I don't have a house, I don't, you know, I haven't got possessions, that kind, all of that stuff. Just look at the energy of that, you know, because it makes you feel like almost like I'm a failure, I haven't achieved
Yeah.
anything, blah, blah. And on the other side, your new narrative, what you're talking about, you know, I'll give you the sentence to embrace, which a lot of people on these calls know that I love to give to people as a mantra or an affirmation. Say it. I'm fucking amazing. I'm fucking amazing. Yeah, because if we start thinking about everything that we've achieved, not all the other things that we left
Yeah.
behind, yeah, I am fucking amazing. I've, you know, not just survived, I thrived, I provided, you know, I've achieved, I supported, I served, you know. So, you know, it's a little bit like the kind of around doing the gratitude on a daily basis. Yeah, and
Mm.
when I explain around, you know, you set your intention for today. Your intention for today, you know, is not going to be, you know, I'm going to change the world. Yeah, because you're not going to achieve that today. You might change the world for a person, you might change something in your world, you know, but you know, obviously let's be realistic with what that intention is. But if you set an intention that is realistic, a goal for today that is realistic, at the end of the day, when you go to bed and you do your gratitude and think back, what have I achieved today? If you achieved that one thing that you set out to do, yeah, then obviously you've done amazing. Obviously, there
Yeah.
might be still days that maybe things have got in the way, you're not achieving that. But we tend to focus on that huge to-do list of all the things that we need to do. And women, you know, a woman's work is never done, you know, as you know, so like you got extra care and responsibility sometimes, or you know, there's a lot of other things that are mulling around in the head. We get to the evening and then we start going through, oh, I still haven't done that, I still haven't done that, I still haven't done that, I haven't done that. And that's what makes you feel a failure. So the whole point of gratitude in the evening, or generally in life, is about acknowledging all the things that you've already achieved, everything that you've already done, and that changes the dynamic massively. Does that make sense?
Yeah, yeah, I definitely had that feeling. I just suddenly sat back and I thought, well, my son's at uni and he's going to vet school, and I mean, he just went to state school, and yeah, he's deaf and he's autistic. And I just thought, well, that's fucking amazing, you know, that I got him there, and you know, I'm supporting him there, and then my daughter's in Australia traveling around, and I thought, well, I'm paid for her plane ticket. That's bloody amazing. You know, I might not, you know, be able to afford to get my hair cut, but I've done the real stuff, you know. So yeah, I have started to get a grip of that now. Yeah. And I also listened to your book, the Erroneous Zones.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I listened to that while I was working. That was good, and I'm very familiar with Mel Robbins. I listen to a lot of her. I'm never a fan of her accent. It's a little bit grating, but she is a fantastic person, and her theories and books are great. So I know all about the 5 4 3 2 1 and stuff like that. So it's really good to be reminded of these things, because you know, you listen to them, you think they're fantastic, you put them into place, and then you forget that that it's a tool in your armory. So yeah, I think it's as you say, it's you come to these things at the right time for you. And I have been trying to breathe more through my yoga as well, since everyone was talking about yoga and breathing. So I've been more conscious of that and my breathing, definitely. So but no, I mean, it's a great process, and I still have to do the assessment. So I am going to try. My challenge is just trying to find time to do everything, and actually set aside time. I've realised I've got to set aside time for anything outside of my actual work. Yeah.
Beautiful, but no, as well, and in terms of like being reconnected with things that maybe you've already explored before, or maybe there are new things as well that you're exploring as a result of, you know, what the way that I'm pushing you to explore with this program. That something that has been very much in my awareness is that I'm a workaholic. I absolutely love what I do, and I get absolutely engrossed and besotted and down rabbit holes and fed and here I go basically. But to make sure that Phil and I spend time together, and obviously that we got a relationship. You know, very often I will have my laptop and my phone, you know, in the lounge. But Phil likes to watch television. That's, you know, like to kind of finish off the day, you know, and just completely rest and whatever. He likes to watch television in the daytime. He likes background noise, and he actually has the news on in the background all day long, right? So
Wow.
if I go and sit in the room with Phil, just to give you a sense of, you know, this narrative around the things that we watch, I started dreaming about stuff that I never dream about. Yeah, so in my dreams, I'm running away, I'm chasing, I'm digging, I'm there's bombs. Literally, my dreams have become a result of the things that are on television. Yeah, and you know, I until Phil came into my life, I didn't own a television, right? So
Wow.
whereas
Wow.
whereas Phil has got an 86-inch television now in my lounge, which is like having a cinema broadcasting the
My
news,
God.
right? So it just changes completely the narrative of what is going on in your mind. So these notions, these things that you're exploring, just know that is basically everything that you're watching and you know, on social media, anything that you're watching on television or books that you're exploring, and all of that is going to always influence what you're putting into your mind, because the brain, even, you know, like I always say it in our soundbaths, your brain cannot distinguish between what your eyes see and what you imagine, right? So if you're watching television, your brain is watching television and is receiving all that bit of information saying this is real, this is what I'm seeing. The brain is not programmed, or, you know, we were not created and made to know the difference between what we're watching on television and what we're watching when we're going for a walk in nature. So your brain is still going to receive every single input and processing and reacting as a result of those things that you're surrounding yourself with and putting in. So really
Right.
be conscious.
That's worth thinking about, that, because actually I was watching this Married at First Sight, and I was watching it because I wanted to learn a bit about relationships, actually. And somebody said, wow, it's like a real insight into how people like meet each other and judge each other and all of this. And I started watching it, and there's a lot of conflict in it. And I started mulling over all this conflict. And yeah, so you are right. You do suck it in. and you sort of connect with people. It's mainly because I'm quite isolated here as well, so I don't have, a lot of people around me. So the TV does tend to be like company. Probably like Phil, he likes company all the time, but I don't really watch the news because I get very stressed out about the news. And I can't let it go. So I'm just gonna have to find another way of having company without TV, I think, somehow. Music, probably. More music.
Singing.
Yeah.
Singing.
Sometimes you just want to numb yourself, though. That's the problem. It just zombie out, that's the thing. I just need those spaces in the day where my brain can stop and I don't have to be in charge of my brain sometimes. Yeah.
Okay, but start strategizing around that. When I'm bored, this is what I do. Yeah, but
Yeah.
like plan it in advance. You make it almost like a list of, if I get bored, this is what I'm gonna do.
Yeah, because
So
it's
that,
so easy to turn the TV on. I mean, everyone does it. So, yeah.
yeah. There's all, just turn into your creative energy. So, sacral chakra. Go into that lesson. What is it that I can do to create, to excite me, to bring that beautiful
Yeah.
energy?
But if you're tired, what do you do then? If you feel like completely zoned out and like drained,
Sleep.
sleep.
Sleep, rest, go for a
I've not
walk.
thought of that one.
If I'm tired.
I've got rules around sleep. You do that at night. So maybe I should just change my rules a little bit.
Yeah, just rest, relax, meditation, have a chill. Put on, a sound bath music and just, let yourself relax to it. But that's part of the journey, is to tune in and listen to your body and what it needs.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'm just tired. I've been going all day long. I'm just tired. Maybe I don't have a long sleep, but I just need to rest for a little while.
Okay. Well, I shall carry on.
Amazing. Well done.
Thank you.
Okay, I'm gonna go to Isaac next. How you doing? And just letting you know, I saw your message in there. I saw your message from last time that you said that there were things not working, and I did go to do some troubleshooting, and my lovely website told me that everything had been sorted. So it's a little bit disappointing to hear the things were still not working at your end. So yeah, how's things?
Well, obviously, I emailed you it, I Facebooked it to you, now I put it in Zoom. So I don't have any more options but to contact you, unfortunately. So I can't send you any more messages because I feel like I will be hounding you, and that's not the energy that I want to give. So just to like clarify, I have emailed you, I have Facebooked you, now I've like put it in the actual Zoom. So just to be clear, I've always been able to see things on the left-hand side, the right-hand side. I've not been able to click on anything. And today they suddenly appeared there, but when you click on them, it says members only portal, and then it also, on the next page, you'll say page not found. So on you've got lesson 2 and lesson 3. So you click on lesson 2, it will come up as members portal only. Then you click on lesson 3, then it'll be sort of page not found. So you can see, I can go on and see the actual page. I can see the second lesson. All the tabs are there, which is lovely, and they've always been there actually. But the tabs on the right have never worked ever. And then I'll just tell you what that one says, because I've got 2 messages today from there actually, which was a little bit frustrating. But so if I click on lesson 2, let's just click on any of them, for example. That one says members portal only. So on lesson 2, it says members portal only. And when I go to lesson 3, when I click on the left-hand side links, which is the assignments, any of them, it says, well, this one says members portal
Hang on
only.
a second. Are you talking about the course or the certification, or are you talking about the
Certification.
so
This 7 secrets. It's never worked
so
for me.
the 7 secrets haven't got assessment or assignments. So
Okay,
that's what I'm getting confused about.
It's okay. I will unconfuse everyone then. So where it says performance training, it says learning portal for course structure. So you've got I'm going to share my screen, Fed.
Yes,
I'm going to
please.
share my screen so you can see it, and you can get frustrated because I can't take the stress on, unfortunately. I just won't. So
No, that's fine.
No,
So
okay.
Isaac, just to be clear, I'm sorry for a start that you're experiencing these issues, but
Okay.
from my side I
Shall I
need to
go
be
through it?
yeah. It's because
Yeah. So sorry.
as long as I can see it, then obviously I will
Yeah.
sort that out for you.
Number two, all there. Click on, and let's see any of them. Members portal only.
Okay.
So let me close that down, just make it clear. So number 2, any of them you click on, it says members portal only, can access. It's never been able to access anything on this side on any of the number 1, week 2. Now, if I go to week 3,
So the ones on the left hand side,
none of these work. None of these work. And then early in week 3, the video wasn't there. The video's only just appeared there now. The video wasn't there at all. Whereas in week 1, week 2, the video was there. The video wasn't there in week 3. And you click on that. It says page not found. So yeah, I'm going to stop sharing it. Anyway, so I'm going to now turn from the grumpy Isaac to the positive Isaac because that's the person that that I am.
Pause for me a second there. So
Yep.
can I ask everyone else on the call if you're experiencing the same, or whether this is specific to Isaac? And this is not.
Yeah, but that's the problem there, Shved, isn't it? That's like a problem. That sort of language. That's isolated Isaac as like a problem. No. That's a problem.
Isaac,
I feel triggered by that.
Isaac. Pause there. I just said. Let's be very clear. I'm not blaming you. This is not to do with Isaac. I want to know from a troubleshooting point of view, because my system, for whatever weird reason, sometimes will have an issue specific to a person, not because of who you are, but because it's a technical thing. So I'm asking if anyone else is having the same issue, because sometimes it's isolated. And if it is, then obviously I know that I can go and fix the issue for you. But if everyone else is experiencing it, then obviously it's a wider technical issue. It's nothing to do with individuals and nothing to do with people doing things wrong. Is technical stuff that is going on in the background. Okay, so is anyone else experiencing the same issues as what Isaac is experiencing? This is what I need to know.
Hands, put a hand up.
Hand. Okay, so Anne, in all the same links on the right hand side or on the left hand side as well?
You've got to unmute yourself, Anne.
Just the right hand side, the exact same as Isaac has got. And I messaged you about it last week, and you said, right, I fixed it. Now, personally, I've not had the opportunity to get back to test it out, but I had the same frustration of, this is my golden time for getting this job done, and I want to get through this and get it behind me so that I know I've done it. And then I couldn't. I was frustrated. I was blocked, and there was 3 or 4 different things that I could not get access to, either because it was file not found, or it was AI, and it was I don't have the membership for that. I didn't have the access because of membership. So it was the exact same as Isaac.
Okay, so just for you to understand, both of you, and anyone really, when you're sending me messages, because what Isaac, you were just saying then, or as well, Anne, in terms of this is my time and I need to get on with these things, and I'm messaging Fed. Don't think that Fed is putting that on the background, because the moment that you're sending stuff, I'm getting on with it. Obviously, I might not be able to respond individually to every single message that comes to me, but I'm always taking action. So the moment that those messages come, I do go and try and sort it out. But obviously, from my side, what I get is, and I can show you now. For example, Isaac sent the message earlier on in the chat, to say that things weren't working. So I wanted to.
Only did that because I didn't know what else to do, and I kind of feel bad that I'm hounding somebody. But I emailed the Facebook and I put it. There's no other option, so I thought just do that and it's fine, and you can talk about it. But I want to get to the positive side. That's all. Though.
No, that's fine. And what I'm trying to explain here is, for example, you sent me that message in the chat, same as you may send me a message on WhatsApp Messenger, whatever. But I literally taken everything you said, put it through my system here, and it's telling me here, look, I fixed the certification portal and the access issues. I've already looked at that, and here is saying the watch training videos link now switch to Sandbox tab instead. So it's basically going through the troubleshooting and telling me now everything is working. but this is all I know from my side because this is what I'm getting. So obviously when I've done those changes, there are a couple of things that I know are silly and annoying because when the things are fixed, obviously I publish the changes and then obviously I need to make sure that they go live. So I've done that bit. But once things are refreshed, let's say, so once I've published them, you need on your side, if you have the page open and I publish changes, what you're seeing is not the new version. So it always needs to be refreshed and always need you sometimes to log out and log back in, which I know is annoying because it gets me frustrated because I have to do the same myself. But I can't stress how important it is to make sure that when you're having those issues, log out, refresh the page. Sometimes you need to clear the cookies or whatever, and then you should be getting the new version. So for example, the example that you used, Isaac, about the link wasn't there and then it appeared. When you send me last message saying I don't have the link to this week's lesson, I went in, I made sure that it was published because I had already put it on there, and at some point obviously it would have refreshed at your end, and that's why you ended up seeing it, but it was there to begin with. So that is the difficulty sometimes, that I will make changes but obviously they have not necessarily appeared at your side. But I wanna make sure that to stress and to and really to be crystal clear, I am available here. I never feel that anyone is hounding me or anyone. I mean, I get Georgie sometimes gets stressed about, oh Fed, I will leave you alone. One more question. It's fine. Like, I don't have a problem with anyone asking me a million questions per day. I might not be able to respond to every person, but be reassured. I read every single thing that comes my way, and obviously I will try and sort it out. Go on, Isaac, sorry.
I've just logged out and logged back in, and it's still the same.
Okay, so
I just want to clarify that. So there is a problem. So, but I can't spend 800 hours behind the computer. So if it can magically get fixed, you send me a message, I can check, but I can't check every 5 minutes because it will drive me up the wall, Fed. I've got stuff to do. Come on now.
No, that's absolutely fine, and I don't expect that either. But just so you know, Isaac, that I've done troubleshooting. For example, with Dave the other day, we spent the best part of an hour and a half trying to make one thing work that was really annoying on both ends. And I am really, really grateful when people can spare the time. I appreciate that not everyone has got that, but unfortunately when it comes to technology, like I keep trying, and when it doesn't work, it doesn't fucking work, and it's annoying. Okay, but in the background,
move on to the good stuff now. Then shall we move on to
yes, please.
We've dealt with the miserable stuff, which is usually not my personality. So the actual good stuff is last week I joined a 18 weeks fitness program. So I was thinking why am I being so lethargic? Come on, and I thought this is the year to do it. Come on now. So and I am enjoying the Shamanic course. I know that I realized there was going to be teething problems because the first time the website's there, I just need to, but I've got to walk away from it because I can't, because it like my fire magic is too much. I got to walk away. But no. So last week I joined my fitness thing, which started this week. So I was a bit nervous because it's like an all male, which is fine, but they're all non-LGBT, and I thought, oh God, how's that going to work out? And I thought, well, I'm not looking for a date, I'm just looking for fitness, so it's fine. So I was kind of okay there, you know what I mean? Because they do have a program where I think Keegan, who's a rugby player who's LGBT, does the men's fitness one. But I thought, well, actually, that's not what I want. What I want is I want a course that's going to, and I train. For those who don't know, I trained in dance theatre, and to have someone and because I worked in the charity sector, I realized it's important to bring expertise in, and I want to bring an expert in that could just give me the choreography, and I can just dance the actual steps, as it were, So it was wonderful to do that. So I feel I'm losing some weight a little bit each day, and I feel a little bit better, and I haven't got weird cravings or hungers. It's been okay, really. So that's been quite nice. So that's the actual positive bit.
So in terms of so there's a number of different things there to really consider, because we're all different. So this is not a case of having one strategy that will fit everyone. So some people, one of the important things that I always recommend for the more kind of spiritual energy side, is to start with putting on your own protection. So in my daily practice, the first thing that I do in the morning, and literally this is the first thing that I do every single morning without fail, and I'm not lying there, and I can tell you, I do not do anything else until I've put on my daily protection. In the last year, probably longer than that, there was one day only that I didn't do my morning meditation and putting on my bubble of protection around me, and that was a day where a lot of stuff happened that I wish didn't. And as much as it, yeah, maybe coincidence, maybe, you know, a lot of other stuff, but that for me spoke to me about the importance of putting that protection around me. I feel protected. I feel, you know, that there's a barrier, that, you know, I'm not inviting that energy to begin with around me. One of the things that I do, as silly as some people might think, Palo Santo, for example, every morning when I come to my desk, you know, my beautiful shamanic room, I put it on. Literally, I'm on a swivel chair, and I will have it on, and literally I go around, yeah. So I got my lovely circle of Palo Santo around me, yeah. Little things, whatever it is, from an energetic and spiritual point of view. So I really want to make sure that, you know, I have in my mind that notion that I've put on my protection. So that's the first thing. When it comes to you know, these dynamics in these spaces, and this is kind of speaking into the importance of a bigger dynamic from my point of view, from a therapeutic best practice point of view, when we are in these places, of course, you know, I'm basically holding space, and there's a lot of different people that will bring up different issues. So I'm dealing with the group dynamic and the space holding to make sure that I'm supporting every individual, but I don't know if other people are affected by the rest of the conversation. So my point at the end, you know, when I ask, is there any other question? If anyone, you know, needs anything, I'm staying on, because I'm giving that opportunity for people to come and speak to me. Or I always say, if there's anything else, you're always welcome to send me a message. And obviously I can support in that sense. Regardless of what I do, as an individual, we all have a responsibility to also understand where we're at and when these dynamics are affecting us. So when it comes to some of the things that you were saying, Isaac, for example, yes, you can go and write it, you know, so that you're purging it in a sense in that way. Sometimes it might be, I need to speak to someone. You can speak to me. You can reach out to me if you need to have that support of, you know, a guide essentially in that process. What I think that as therapists is really important as well, which is something that I am putting in place in the work that I do, is to have, we can't call it clinical supervision, but is self-reflective practice, which is going to start this year with Kerry Bell. Some of you know from the course and retreats. Some of you might have met here on this program as well. But Kerry is a trained psychotherapist, and she will be providing monthly reflective practice for the therapists that I'm working with, the students. So you can go along to a session where you can talk about being impacted by some of the things that you're experiencing, because ultimately as therapists we do take on a lot of energy, and not only energy, the words, you know, the facts, you know, what other people are experiencing. So is getting that supervision support in place, which is really, really important, and most therapists and healers do not have, you know. So is our responsibility, is not someone else, because we need to assess if we are impacted, and we are the ones that need to do something about it, whether it's by seeking support or whether it is to turn in to certain practices that are helping us. For me, I'll give you my self-help, and you know, I'm going to share word for word. This is what I do. You know, maybe it's not, I hope there is not too much information for some people, but if you get to know me, you'll know that these things are true. So when it comes to every sound bath, every big gathering, whether it is retreats, sound baths, if I have large meetings, if I've gone shopping where there's a lot of people, very often I'll come home and I will have an enema. is the first thing. I just think, get it out of my system. Yeah, because I don't know what I've taken on board. Yeah, so that to me is something that I know works, and so is a way of me freeing myself of, you know, those dynamics physically, but I put a lot of the emotional, so I always think about what am I purging in that process. It can be happy. You know, for those of you that work with happy, sacred tobacco, you know, sometimes if I'm too much in my head, I need to get into my body. You know, I've experienced a lot of stuff, you know, I'll go and have happy. So it's a little bit like what we were talking with Gary and George around having cold water therapy. Is kind of that short circuit to interrupt, you know, some of the patterns, some of the processes that the mind could be in. So I find that that is very beneficial for me. I'm not saying for you to do these things the Fed does. What I'm trying to give you is ideas about different things that need to short circuit your process. Yeah, so for me, those are the things that I work with. If you find that maybe, oh, you know, I'm too much in my head, I need to go for a walk, that's your medicine. Yeah, it's about you understanding what are those things that are going to shift those things that might impact you or impair the way that you work. Yeah, and that's why I'm saying it is all very individual. But yeah, I mean, obviously, sometimes in these circle or group dynamics, there will be other people, issues, traumas, you know, kind of ways of sharing information, a little bit of like what I said earlier on with watching television. You know, we are in front of a screen, we are receiving these words, and sometimes we make them our own. So, you know, again, there needs to be the responsibility there to think about, okay, so this is someone else's story, you know, and maybe I can journal around it. What does that mean to me? Is there any wisdom that I can take away? But let's also talk about the reframe, because this is probably the most important part of this whole conversation, is that every single thing that myself or anyone may be sharing when it comes to traumas, negative instances, dynamics, and all of that, we always need to extrapolate what is the wisdom, what is the medicine. Yeah, because an issue is an issue by all means, but if I don't understand what the medicine, the wisdom is, it will continue to stay an issue. Yeah, so if someone is saying, look, today I'm feeling really, really shitty because all of these things have happened, I can walk away with that and think, oh my God, today is really heavy. There's a lot of stuff here that I don't like. Or I could actually go, right, because of these things, let me maybe use Mel Robbins. This is what I'm going to do. Yeah, because this happened, this is what I'm going to do. Then I'm transmuting and transcending that energy into the wisdom, into the solution. Yeah, so I already have a different approach to how I'm going to journey with that knowledge, or, you know, those dynamics going forward. Does that help, Isaac? Is there enough in that explanation?
Yeah, that's fine.
So this course in particular, but I'll speak more generally because this is something that a lot of you will be experiencing. So what Isaac is talking about, you might find that there are sometimes individuals that come onto something that you have planned, or, you know, something that you're delivering, and there will be that dynamic of someone needing the support. It's not taking up space and room unnecessarily, or, you know, or not being aware of the dynamics, but it might be that just that person at that moment in time is struggling and really needing support. So I hear on one side, obviously, what you're saying, Isaac, 100%. I agree that there's a place and a time for everything, as in, like, you know, it might not be this space, and the invitation generally is for those people to be explained. Yeah, this is not the place, this is not the time, this is not the dynamic that is right for right now. You can book a call with me by all means, and that should be the kind of rule when it comes to the therapeutic work, also because, you know, we're not all equipped, you know, to listen to those things. However, on the other side, there's a fine line and a fine balance sometimes with that person needing support and feeling unseen, unheard, unhelped, you know, during a time where they're actually not able to focus on anything else that is going on during the call. And as much as is still sometimes inappropriate to have those conversations during the call, it ends up also with that dynamic of not being able to tell that person, we need to stop this right now, but we can take it privately because of the dynamic that is involved. So it is a fine line, is not always appropriate by all means, but at the same time, I do generally feel that the groups that I attract and the work that we do in these calls are with people that are on the path, and they are all quite supportive. I take that obviously sometimes they might not be appropriate dynamics, and they might be impacting others. So again, just the invitation just to round off that conversation, and which is the important part for me, is that I am here regardless of the individual, but also if some of these conversations are impacting you, make sure that you're reaching out, whether it is, you know, for coming along to a self-reflective practice, or whether it is that you want to have a chat with me. I'm always happy to organize that. Okay, so thank you, Isaac, for bringing that, because obviously it needs to be spoken into as well. So beautiful. And in just as we continue with the sharing, just be reassured, Isaac and Anne, that I'm working in the background, or rather my website is working in the background to try and remedy to those technical issues. So I will give you an update, but you know, whilst you're on this call, since you are segregated here, if you don't mind doing a refresh, you know, log out, refresh, you know, from time to time whilst you're on the call, that would be absolutely amazing, because my system is telling me that it's fixed it, or that it's still working on it, or it's fixed another bit. But yeah, I'm still going through with it as we are on this call. Okay, next I have Kat on my screen. How you doing, lovely?
Hello, hi everybody, good to see you.
Hello, hello.
I went to London last week, so I'm still like, whoa! It was amazing though. I've forgotten how much I love just, well, travelling, I suppose, really, and just mooching around and looking at buildings and realising you've done 20,000 steps and all of that kind of stuff. So plan to do more of things like that. It was really good to remind myself that what I like doing, I suppose, because I haven't done anything like that in a long time.
It was beautiful to see the pictures of Ronnie and the kids with the dinosaurs
Yeah.
in the background. You know,
They
the
had
wonder.
such a great time. It was really good to go with a friend of mine who's got a daughter as well, who's the same age as Ronnie, because then obviously they had their like, oh, you know, and seeing their excitement. You know, at one point the kids were like, you know, proper shock and amazement, and like, wow, we've learned about this in school, and there it is, that kind of thing. You know, so yeah, it was awesome. Orange foods.
Mm-hmm.
I've always avoided orange juice. Well, not always. Orange juice and satsumas and stuff like that, because when I do eat a lot of them, I get a lot of mouth ulcers. I don't know why that is. So I've always been wary around that. So I tend to eat more tomatoes and things like that rather than thing. But I didn't have any last week, so that was really interesting. And it was a bit difficult to navigate the food whilst I was in London. But I managed it when I got back. And then obviously I was a day behind getting all the yellow stuff. And yeah, golden kiwi fruit. That's exciting. So yeah, I started doing stuff as well on Monday. I don't know where it all came from. Nearly finished my website, which is something that's just been sat in the background months, and I don't mean 2 months, I mean 12 months. So that is a massive thing for me to have moved forward with, which I'm sure what the food and I look at their various different things to help with. You see this rail of clothes behind me? They're to go on Vinted. I've put half of them on, and a load of them are sold as well. So that is, you know, something I've been looking at that's weighing me down, literally. Yeah, so just things like that, really. I've had a lot of grief come up as well. So I've been navigating that too, and just allowing when that's been coming up. Yeah.
Beautiful. Do you know?
Yeah, lots of steps, which is good.
Amazing, and obviously you're stepping into very doing energy with the program. But what I was gonna say, just to speak into the reluctance of going into I call them places, but it might be like I'm reluctant to eat that type of food. I'm reluctant to do that exercise, whatever it is. Generally, I mean, just a very simple notion, we should never feel an extreme, like to the disgust or to the addiction. Yeah, so like, you know, the two extremes of any dynamics are unhelpful, because in a sense it's not necessarily about feeling neutral, but it's kind of like it's the midpoint. Yeah, we should be in a place where we're not impacted like, oh my god, I'm addicted, I'm so excited that I'm addicted to that, and the dopamine hit, or I'm disgusted, I'm avoiding it, and I'm scared of stuff, you know. So we want to be kind of somewhat in the center, in the middle of it all. And that goes as well with flavors. For example, some people might be very addicted to to sugar, and then really dislike bitter foods. But actually, we have 5 flavors that our palate can taste, and we should be able to eat a little bit of everything, because the body does need everything to regulate and to keep us in balance. So if we ever feel that there's something that we are really disgusted by, or a group of foods, or a color, or an emotion, it's always about, where should I go with it? What is the wisdom there? Is there something that I need to try? So when it comes to tastes, a little bit like with children, because there are some parents, for example, that can be very reluctant to push for certain vegetable for their kids, for example, because they say, oh, try that, and they don't eat vegetable, they don't eat fruit or whatever. And I'm not saying that anyone here is the same, but sometimes the kind of theory is that it takes 3 to 5 times for us to taste something new before we develop a sort of ability to tolerate or like something. So as much as we might not like it the first time, we might need to try again and again. There are some things that obviously will react with us, because maybe it's something that we should not have, or sometimes it might be intolerance or allergy, that kind of stuff. But yeah, kind of like navigating that little bit, that sometimes it's like, oh, that didn't work before, but maybe my taste buds have changed since, or so kind of like pushing the boat to continue to explore. That's what I'm saying there.
Yeah, bananas is one thing that, like this week, obviously we should be working with, and even the smell of them. And I know when I was little I loved them, but even the smell of them, my son eats them now because I didn't want to pass that on to him. He absolutely adores them, but if he sits next to me eating one, I have to move. And the sweeter it is, the more repulsed I am by the smell of it. And every couple of years I do try again, and I go, no,
Nope.
nope.
Did you try banana bread?
No.
Yeah.
No. And when I'm looking for healthier recipes for sweet things, a lot of the time there's banana in it. It depends how strong the flavor of banana is in there, but yeah. Nope.
Yeah.
Nope.
Well, listen to that for sure. Listen to your body if it is that difficult.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is obviously, if it is one food is one thing. If it is a food group, yeah, then that is a different matter.
So yeah, the sugar addiction is something that I have been trying to battle with for a long time, and I know the terminology I'm using right now is not great with it. But yesterday I made apple marshmallow fluff. So substitutes. So the candied walnuts were amazing. Anybody wants to try those? It's literally maple syrup and walnuts. Fry them. Yeah, absolutely incredible. So yeah, always trying to find something that's not.
I've seen that apple marshmallow. How did it turn out? Was it?
It's in the fridge. I'll let you know.
Okay.
I'll put something in the Facebook thing. I've been posting in the app rather than on Facebook, because I don't know where you want the traffic to go. I can do both if that's better, but yeah.
Yeah, at the moment the community is still quiet, because obviously there aren't a lot of people that are using it. But obviously I would like to create more of a dynamic there. But obviously Facebook is a lot busier. There's more people. So whatever you feel for now, that's absolutely fine. Okay, amazing. And there was something oh yes, I will post in the group I shared with Georgie. There's a guy online. I always look at his recipes. If you're looking for something sweet but healthy, he does the most insane stuff, and is really, really good. Generally it's dates and nuts, the stuff that he does, but yeah, really, really amazing recipes. But yeah, I'll share a link to that. Okay, well done. Amazing. And we need to put a date down for your volunteering with the assessment as well, so that I can record stuff for next week. Amazing. Thank you so much. Next, I'm going to go. I've got Anne on my screen, and you just turned the camera back on. So hello.
Hi there, Fed. Nice
Hello.
to see you again. And by the way, just to clarify, you did actually attend to it really fast, and you did get back to me really fast on Sunday. It's just I didn't have the chance to go back, and I did check up, and yes, it is corrected. So while
Yeah.
we've been on the call, I've checked up on it on my side, and it is corrected. So that's at least, that's good.
Amazing. So on my screen it says, yeah, please ask Anne and Isaac to hard refresh and retry, and those should be working. So glad to hear that it's working on your side. Isaac, I'm praying and hoping. Tell me that it's working on your side as well. But yes, Anne, tell me how you doing.
Oh, I'm having a roller coaster week, but I'm kind of like toddling through it. Like everything's happening round about me, and it's very high and low, and I'm kind of going do, 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 do. And I'm kind of in that flow. I'm still working on the sacral bit. Do you know what I mean? Well, I've finally got past the root chakra bit. Thank goodness for that. And it did take a bit of doing between therapy, a bit coaching, and a bit of and the lymphatic drainage massage that helped. And treating myself to get my hair cut and all that kind of stuff. Do you know what I mean? It was like, and I got myself finally to a point where, yes, I was in the flow and I was loving it. And on Sunday morning, as you'll have seen from my post, I finally got out cycling for 12 miles. I was just,
Amazing.
So that was lovely because it's such a beautiful day, and you can feel the wind and you can feel the warmth, but the wee bite in the air. And it just felt so refreshing. It felt so good. And although it's an electric bike, your legs are still going the whole time. So it's not that you're doing any less. You're just being facilitated to make it easier, to make it less stressful. And there's no way I could do that on an ordinary bike. But to have done that was just awesome. And it put my whole head in a whole different frame of mind, which was fabulous. And that's the day that I then got onto, right, okay, here we go. We're on to the next stage, onto the sacral part of it. Monday I had a huge drive to my hometown and back again to get my tooth fixed. So I've got my smile back. Yay! Got a bridge, got my smile back. It's so important to me. And I loved the driving down and driving back. Now it's over 300 miles in the day that I was driving. And normally I would be exhausted. And I really wasn't. I was just like in the flow. Here we go. And it just felt so good to be in that flow. Lovely. But halfway up the road, I got a message from my partner saying that he was drunk and not to come home because he's very violent when he's drunk. And therefore, I was kind of like, I've been sort of like, I was shunted out my house for a night. And then he's ended up staying with somebody else. He's now feeling suicidal and wants to kill me and wants to set my property on fire. And my pal's on the way to him. My friend is on the way to him to get him to take him to hospital because I'm the one person that's not safe around about him when he's got a drink in him. So very much roller coaster. You know, it's like my head's going, ay. I don't know quite what's for the best. I'm doing my best. But it's still a kind of, how do I balance all this to make it all work out okay? And a bit like Hannah was saying, I've spent so much of my adult life being ill but caring for others, being disadvantaged but still showing up for others to help them. And in recent time, it's like I'm trying to get that realization. I lived for a very long time before I was a parent, and it's my time again to live within my own self instead of my everything being focused on somebody else.
Absolutely.
Still obviously within my nature, I can't stop being me. And it's my nature to want to help and to care and such like. I can't step out of that. But to give more of that care to myself, and that certainly feels more comfortable. And in alignment with like the sacral, I've got a particular pain. This is relevant to the sacral chakra. I got a particular pain in my right ovary that I've had on and off for years and years and years. and it is very much strongly related to my family situations, the same way as the root chakra was, but just a level up a bit, or a different kind of aspect of it. So yesterday I had a hypnotherapy session where it was focused on bringing my family together and making peace, even if it's just in the quantum realm. Can we please have love and peace between us, and giving us space for each one to express themselves or whatever. And it worked out. It's really interesting because it's like each one would say things the way they would say it. It wasn't like my mind saying it. You know, it was like, oh, I didn't expect that to come out of there. You know, so and that's nice. So I feel as if there's a lot resolved there, and it's sent out into the universe to please do some good, to let that energy of love manifest within each and every one of them, so that hopefully we can reunite as a family and heal these wounds that are generational and that have kept on creating the same cycle again and again. So that was yesterday, and I feel hell of a good for having done that. That was really, it's like, wow, that is a good step forward. Love that.
I was going to say, Anna, that feels. I was going to say that it feels from last week to this week, which is beautiful to see, is making that shift to the world out there, to your inner world. Yeah, and it is about really acknowledging and understanding how much we give power without necessarily understanding to other people, even if even if they're not doing anything. Yeah, we believe a narrative. We believe that people do things so they take the power away. It's because we let them, because we are giving that narrative of, they're doing that, so I'm focused on them. Yeah, and all of a sudden, my energy is depleted because I'm focused, on what other people are doing, or what needs to be fixed in our mind around other people. But this is about bringing that narrative back to you, despite of what goes on out there, is what can I do about it? Yeah, and what is it that I need? So you're doing beautiful work in bringing that awareness. So let that journey continue, and really, in every dynamic that presents itself, because there's already a shift from the first couple of weeks, and now obviously you're going to step into the solar plexus, which is about your capabilities, is about what you can do for sure. So you will find that this will become even a stronger point, but just keep that discerning of what is mine and what is everyone else's.
Mm-hmm. I totally, utterly agree. And I just want to share something else with you. And that is, thank you for putting up your advert about the gallbladder and liver cleanse and such like. And as you've pointed out, Fed, I did this course 6 years ago or something like this, right? And back then it was like you'd suggested, right, okay, for those who are willing to go through the enema process to really have a really good cleanse out, right? Well, in my bathroom from then until this day is the package that contains the enema stuff, right? So, and it sat there all these years, and I literally just took it out of the bathroom this morning because it was triggered by something that something that somebody said, and I thought, isn't that amazing, right? I've got it sitting there for all these years, just there. In other words, the intention is there, the desire is there, the want is there, but the circumstances, I'm always on catch up. I mean, how slow can you get that it's still sitting there all these years later? So I'm very glad to have that opportunity, because I think that is relevant.
Absolutely.
To have that clean out.
Go to you'll see
Fed,
in the
you've directed me 100 times to where to go. So
No.
I need to follow through with you with the process as we go through this.
So the important part is going back to what Georgie was saying earlier on, is about I'm doing it. Yeah, it's kind of like obviously you'll be watching the materials for the third secret for the solar plexus, and it's stepping into that Mel Robbins, like I'm doing it. It's not about planning. You planned because obviously you bought the enema bag, but it's like, no, I'm just gonna go and do it.
Yeah.
And it's not even about thinking when. It's like now when our teacher our teacher Anne would tell you, if you go back to the days of Calvin, he will tell you when would now be a good time.
Uh-huh.
When would now be a good time for it?
Yeah, yeah. I agree. Now, well, I'll do it with this process that we're going through soon, because I will be joining you in that, and that'll be brilliant. The Mel Robbins one of 54321. I get it. I understand it. I understand the logic behind it. Obviously, I do, and I agree with it. It's a great impetus. It's a great motivator to get up off your arse and do it, and actually do it. However, being very ADHD, I will very quickly go from one thing to another, to another, to another, to another, to another, and then I don't finish the things that I need to do, and therefore it's kind of, I need to take a step back from that. That's not something I could do, because if I went with the 54321, I would never get anything finished at all, because I'm too impulsive. So for me, it's like a case of, right, this is what I'm doing now, and I have to finish that task, or else it will not get finished.
Mm-hmm.
Just the way my brain's wired. But yes, I do, and I don't agree, because there's some things, well, I take note that I need to do it, and it's put in a file up there to deal with sequentially or whatever. So yes, get round to it if you can. And yes, a lot of the time it means that you don't do it. And but there's got to be a balance with it. You know, it's got to fit in with real life as well. That you can't always just have an impulsive thought of what you're going to do and just do it right now.
No, absolutely. But I think that it is just more about the notion that some people may procrastinate and have a million ideas and not taking any action. So this is about, stepping into that power of doing, as opposed to, not being, feeling incapacitated or feeling that you can't, So I appreciate, sometimes we all need a secret pause for sure, So I have a to-do list about to-do lists, So I've got lots of lists to do, but it's about, okay, out of those, what is important, and then it's about taking action. Not about everything, but the things that matter. It's like setting that intention at the beginning of your morning. But well done, Anne. You're doing amazing. Okay, beautiful. Okay, and I have, last but not least, again, Dave. How you doing?
I'm good. See, Gary, it's all in the timing. You just gotta hang around, just wait a little bit longer, then you get to be the last one. Or you just be a bit of a scatterbrain like me. Anyway, I have had a terrific week, as you know.
Solar plexus week for Dave.
Solar plexus week for week. Yeah, so practices. What have I done? I have definitely watched less and done more. And that's actually, it coincides with something that I'm pretty sure I covered on module 6 last week, and of the other course, obviously. And I was thinking to myself, yeah, I don't watch TV, but I will spend hours and hours and hours watching videos online, and just not getting anything done. And every time I got some coursework to do, I could watch another video. And then that's what happens. So I managed to come up with a way, as part of my assignment, to get over this procrastination. And it's been quite a revelation. And off the back of that, I have created my very own course that I am going to be hosting, hopefully very, very soon. So that's really exciting. Super excited about that. And I just went hell for leather, blitzed it, and finished module 7. So I am now finished module 7. So yeah, I'm absolutely thrilled. And spoiler alerts, right? The very last assignment is just beautiful. And I won't go into the details of what it actually is, but it involved me having a sort of closing ceremony with myself, with my drum, with the coals that I walked on, with the Blue Lotus water that I collected from our retreats, and they're all collections on my altar of all the achievements and all the wisdom and knowledge and experience I've had on this course. So it was 15 minutes of pure bliss. I made sure everybody was out because my dog is very, very noise sensitive and he hates the drum, so I don't get to play it often enough. So yeah, it was nice. While he was out having his walk yesterday morning, I just had the best time, and I just thought, what a perfect way to end this part of the course. So that kind of ties into Yellow Week. I've challenged myself to grow. Evidence is there. Lent into my courage, what the hell can I bring to market? I produced a course that has got its outlines, just got to finish the modules now, but I'm pretty much there. And eating yellows. I can't think of many yellow foods except for chickpeas. Chickpeas I have a lot of, right? But yeah, I did have well, my wife was having a wobble, right, the other night, and she went, "Fuck it, I'm having fish and chips." And I went, "That's yellow." Because the batter's yellow, the chips are yellow. So yeah, I couldn't. I only came with a slice of lemon as well, so I couldn't. I couldn't resist putting it in the community. So yeah, so I mean, I've done my best there. And prepare yourselves to be grossed out, but also for my yellow therapy, I've picked back up on the urine therapy this week. So I've been having that practice each morning. So I'm hoping to have some improved skin, more glistening eyes, and yeah, whatever those benefits are meant to be. I like the experiment. I remember so going on to the enema uh, uh, subject earlier. When I had to cover that on the course, I was like, what the fuck do I want to do that for? No way. I'm not doing I'm not shoving that up my arse. I don't need to. And it just seemed really weird and all, icky. But I forced myself to do it, and I do them all the time now. I try to do them about at least once a fortnight. And yeah, just like the urine therapy, they're two of the practices that I cannot do when my wife's in the house. So I have to make sure she's out. I gotta sneak these things in because she'll just think I've gone and lost the plot. So there you go.
I always think about the partners of people that are on my courses other than Georgie and Gary, obviously, that are doing it together. I always think about the partner cursing me and going, what the hell are you getting my partner to do? So beautiful
I
and
know.
lovely to see as well that obviously the challenge accepted last week of tidying up your room. You know have reorganized your space. Amazing, bringing you energy and how things shift even just from that, which is absolutely beautiful to see and amazing. You absolutely had a week of fire and really pat yourself on your back for everything that you achieved because you worked really, really hard. So amazing, amazing. And this is not to diss any effort that everyone else has made, but this man this week has haunted me and hounded me, but has also done shit loads of stuff. So amazing, amazing work, Dave. And in fact, I'll share as well that one of the things that has come from this week, going back to as well some of the technical stuff. Most of you obviously know the Merlin app. You might have seen the app for the academy as well with the courses. But one thing that I've worked on and that I'll share here, is still quite at the beginning of the journey, but I've created a template essentially for an app that any person that decides to go on to becoming a tutor with the academy will have. So essentially, you can have your own app designed for your own course and offering to your niche market. And yesterday, I was working with that notion, and I've created, what is a prototype, essentially template that I'm going to be using, and did an example for Dave to have a look at. So this is something that I will be sharing. I've asked Dave if he'd be happy to be a case study, so that obviously I will be sharing, how you can create a course, how you can work with the app, how you can market yourself, and kind of all of that journey. Shamandala Holistic Wellness, there it is. But yeah, so I will be sharing a little bit more on that. But amazing to witness your journey, Dave. Absolutely beautiful. Okay.
Thank you, brother. Couldn't have done it without you.
Amazing. Thank you so much.